The last time a running back won the MVP was Adrian Peterson in 2012. Could this be the year that a running back does it? Could that running back be Miles Sanders? If so, I'm going to win a lot of money. Dallas still stinks. Everybody doing? King Dingbat here, and I hope everybody's having a great weekend. I hope you guys are doing well. Hope you're hanging in there. Hope you were able to get out of your house at least a little bit. I'm telling you, I'm ready. I'm ready for this whole thing to be over. I need sports back. I need it back. I've been watching golf all day, and I hate golf. I mean, I don't hate playing it, even though I can't play it. I just can't watch it. I cannot watch golf. And I've been watching the whole entire match between Peyton Manning, Tom Brady, Phil Mickelson, whatever the hell his name is, and Tiger Woods. I've been watching the whole thing all day. That's how desperate I am to watch some sort of sporting event. I need sports back, and we're going to get it. We're going to get it because I'm going to tell you right now, football's coming back. Football is coming back this year. I have no doubt in my mind, 100%. It's coming back. And I get a lot of questions and a lot of DMs of, hey, do you think football's coming back? Hey, what do you think they're going to do, about football this year? Football's coming back. Football's coming back. If I base it just upon what I've seen from where I live, people are done. People are done with this whole thing. They are ready to get back to their life. They're ready to get back to life. And let me tell you, where I live, it's been pretty strict with the lockdowns, and now we're getting to the point where even the sheriff and the county police department, they're like, we're not enforcing it anymore. We're done. People are done. So I have no doubt that football's coming back because people are going to flip out if it doesn't. Okay, they're going to flip out. So football's coming back. The interesting question really about football and the season is going to be, what are they going to do with the crowd? How are they going to deal with the audience? Because I think that it's not necessarily going to be the rules that the NFL puts in place for the crowd. I think it's going to be really done by the states and the counties and the cities and those levels. They're going to decide which teams can have crowds and can have an audience and which can't. I could see a situation where you have a place like Florida where they're actually allowing people to come back and go to games. And then you have a place like Michigan, California, somewhere like that, New York, where they're not allowing people at all or very few people. I think at the end of the day, most likely what we'll see is somewhere probably around half the crowd is allowed back at games. So you'll get half the audience spread out. I think that's fair. I think that they can do that safely, and I think that shouldn't be a problem. But football has to come back. It's coming back. Matter of fact, I think sports in general will come back. If I'm the NBA and if I'm the NHL, I'm coming up with some sort of NCAA basketball tournament type thing, some hockey World Cup type of tournament, and I'm letting these teams go at it. I think that would be fun, and we need that right now. So, sports are coming back. They have to. I just watched golf all day. That can't happen anymore. I need sports back, and it'll come back. No question about it. And when it does, it's going to be exciting. It's going to be fantastic. I think that the NFL is going to kill it this year. I think it's going to be so fun to watch, especially after all that we've been through. And look, even teams are starting to open up facilities. I mean, you got teams like, I think Dallas is getting ready to open up facilities, and teams are going to start getting back to normal, which is great. It's absolutely wonderful. Now, before I go further into this video, I do need to apologize for not streaming yesterday or this weekend. I had some family issues, some family things come up that I had to take care of. Nothing serious, nothing to worry about or anything like that. Just things that I couldn't avoid. I had to do this weekend, and it kind of threw me off. But look, I'm off tomorrow. I'm off all day tomorrow. Have nothing to do. So I will be streaming some point tomorrow on Monday. And then Tuesday I'm going to stream also. So you're going to get 2 days in a row of the Dingbat streaming. So come hang out with me, hit the subscribe button, ring that Dingbat bell, and it'll be a lot of fun. I also got a bunch of channel membership live stream stuff going on this week too. So it's going to be a busy week. It's going to be a busy week for me, even though there's really not a lot going on with the Eagles. It's been really, really quiet. Carlos Hyde went to Seattle. We lose another player to Seattle. It seems like we lose players to Seattle. We lose games to Seattle. I'm getting sick and tired of Seattle double moonwalking us. We got to beat this team this year. We got to beat this team. Oh, I'm getting fired up. I'm ready to play football right now. I don't even need to wait until preseason. Let's go. Let's get it going now. But they take Carlos Hyde. I don't know how interested we really were in him. There were rumors, of course, out there. So that really leaves two running backs left for us to possibly get, Freeman or McCoy. I don't know if the Eagles are going to get either. If I had to guess, I'm saying we're not after a running back. They have no intention of bringing one on. Just a gut feeling. But it is interesting nonetheless. And look, we got a great running back in Miles Sanders. We got a franchise running back in Miles Sanders. And one of the other things I did today was I got on my betting sites and I started looking at the MVP odds because I was reading Miles Sanders' interview, and they were talking to Miles Sanders, and he was talking about how he's aiming to win MVP. He has high goals for himself going on this year. He sets high standards for himself. I love that. I love it. He sets high standards. He's motivated because he was underlooked in college, being Saquon Barkley's backup running back. He has all the makings of being a truly, truly great player in this league. And he has high standards. He wants to be the MVP of the league. Okay, now that's very hard for a running back to do. Last running back that won an MVP was Adrian Peterson in 2012. I believe in 2006 was the time before that. So 2006, I think it was LaDainian Tomlinson won an MVP. And then 2005, I think there was another running back MVP. I think, don't quote me on this, I don't know for sure, but I think it might have been Sean Alexander, but I can't remember. But running backs don't win MVP often, okay? 2012 was the last time, Adrian Peterson. And if Miles Sanders wants to win MVP, it's going to be very, very hard. But I like that he sets his standards high. I think that's very important to do. I think you want players that have lofty goals, man. And, I've been watching his workout videos and stuff. He looks fantastic. Miles Sanders is going to have a huge year. But for him to win MVP, it's going to be very hard. He's 20,000. He's plus 20,000 to win MVP. I looked at the odds today, plus 20,000. So I'm putting $20 on it. That's like $5,000 I could win. Put $20 on it, $5,000 if he wins it. It's not likely, but for $20, what the hell do I care? I'll put $20 on, maybe I win $5,000, I think the real guy that has a chance on the Eagles to win MVP is Carson. Carson's got the shot, okay? Because when you look at how he played the last 4 or 5 games of the year, okay, he was fantastic. He was arguably the best player down the stretch in those last 5 weeks of the season. He was an MVP type player. He was having that kind of year with nobody around him. Now, when you look at it, the weapons that they added, the guys that are coming back, there's no question to me. If Carson Wentz comes out like he did those last 4 or 5 weeks of the regular season, he's gonna have a shot at it. He's plus, according to what site you're at, he's either plus 2,000 or plus 2,500. So I'm gonna throw $50 down on Carson Wentz to win MVP. I always try to pick, a couple guys before the season start that who I think is going to win MVP. I didn't take Lamar Jackson last year, so I didn't win. But I always try to take some guys who are kind of like between fifth best and 10th, somewhere between 5 and 10. Whoever has the 5th to 10th best chance to win an MVP, those are the guys I usually like to put a little money on. I'm putting $50 on Carson because I think that if he plays the way he did, the Eagles stay relatively healthy, I think the guy has a legitimate shot to win the MVP. It would be great. Really, we can argue that he may have more weapons right now than he did in 2017. Okay, let's look at it. Alshon Jeffrey. Now, Alshon Jeffrey in 2017 was a lot healthier. Okay, he was a lot healthier than he is now. So he's going to come back. He's going to be coming back from injury. I don't know what kind of Alshon we're going to get. So there's an argument to be made there. But Deshaun Jackson is better than Torrey Smith. He's just far better. He showed in the week 1 last year that he was better than Torrey Smith when he came to the Eagles, okay? Nelson Aguilar had a career year, but I think Greg Ward can compete with that. And we got Marquise Goodwin, who is fast and, he can compete with what Nelson Aguilar did. And then you have guys like Jalen Reagor, who I really like, who I think will impact this team. You have, the other rookies, if they develop. I think wide receiver-wise, I think the Eagles are equal, if not better, than what they were in 2017. I think the running back situation is better. You might need to add a bruiser, no question, but I would take Miles Sanders than any of those running backs on the roster in 2017. I just would. Okay? Tight end situation is better because you're getting... you have Zach Ertz, which we already had them, but Dallas Goedert, to me, is better than Burton. Okay, and Selleck was at the end of his career. I think tight end situation is better. You can make an argument at left tackle. You may not be better because Jason Peters, but then again, Jason Peters got hurt and he was out for the rest of the year. He didn't even play in the Super Bowl. I think if healthy, I think the Eagles offensively are as talented, if not more, than 2017. And if Carson stays healthy and he plays like he did the last 4 or 5 weeks, he has a legitimate shot to win MVP. He has a legitimate shot. Now, I'm not saying he's the best shot, but he has a shot. And I think it's worth putting $50 on. I think Carson, when you look and you project his numbers, I think Carson Wentz is going to have somewhere between 35 to 40 touchdowns. That's where I have him slotted at, about 35 to 40. And the reason I say that is look at last year with nobodies, right? If you go back, truthfully, if you go back to 2017, not 2017, but if you go back just to last year in general, okay, what happens if Carson Wentz in that Week 2 game versus Atlanta, if Nelson Aguilar catches that ball and the Eagles win? What happens if Ortega-Whiteside catches that ball he should have caught versus Detroit and wins? If you give me those 2 games and those 2 catches, Carson Wentz may have an MVP type year. He may. Things would be totally different, okay? Plus, he would be well over 30 touchdowns. He had about 8-9 drops that were touchdowns, legitimate touchdowns that were dropped. This year, he's got better weapons. There's no reason, in my opinion, that Carson doesn't throw about 35 to 40 touchdowns, have about 4,800 yards passing, and I'll say about between 7 and 10 interceptions, somewhere around there. And I think that's the kind of year he's going to have. I'll say 35, 40 touchdowns, 7 to 10 interceptions, about 48 to 5,000 yards passing, and that should be good enough to be possibly an MVP candidate. When you look at Miles Sanders, I think Miles Sanders is a guy who I think he's going to have about 1,200 yards on the ground, about 800 yards receiving. And if he goes over 1,000 catching and running, he may have a shot at the MVP. But it's going to be interesting, no doubt about it. I love when these MVP odds come out and all these betting props. It gets me excited about the season. But I think Carson Wentz has a legitimate shot. I wouldn't say he has the best shot, but I think he has a top 5 shot. I'm putting some money on him. Miles Sanders is going to be very hard for him to win it, but I like that he sets his goals high. And if he can go over 1,000 yards running and 1,000 yards receiving, he may just have a shot. Let me know what you think in the comment section. With that said, take care. Talk to you later. And don't be a dingbat.